land and sea. This is the third time I've tried to videotape this one part. It's annoying, so I hope you guys will enjoy this very much. Chapter 24. In the morning, Henry walked to the house when he was supposed to be at school. Kid, just stop ditching school. You need to go there to learn stuff so that you can have a job when you're older, Emma told him. I know, but school is boring. I would rather be out on an adventure, like soaring around the skies of Neverland, Henry replied. Emma glanced at me, since she knew I had something to do with this. Since when have you wanted to soar around Neverland? She asked instead. Since Emily remembered who she was, Henry said that. How he had to bring me into this is something that I will never understand, I thought to myself. But of course, there must have been some backfire to standing there. Emily, what did you tell Henry that makes him want to go to Neverland so much? I didn't. Peter did. He showed up last night at the docks, and before you say anything, I don't know how he could have gotten here. He's been surprising me a lot lately. Good for you, but what have you told him? Honestly, I was knocked out by a sleeping curse for 3 months. That would have been enough time to tell him my whole life story 20 times over, I snapped. Fine. Have it your way, Emma said evenly. I knew that I shouldn't have snapped at an adult, but then again, I had to be over 28 years older than her. She had to understand that. Dang it, I'm thinking like the old Peter, I thought. I am sorry I snapped, and Henry, your mother, is right. You should go to school while you can, I muttered the last part. I didn't want to turn Emma against me as well as Regina. What a whole lot of fun I would have. Alright, I'll go to school. Make sure you pick me up, okay, Emily? Henry said. I had been daydreaming. Yeah, I won't forget. See you later, I said, and I walked out the door. It was time for work. Chapter 25. I'm here, I called into the pawn shop. It was dusty, and I sneezed when I sniffed up some of the dust. A woman appeared from behind the counter. Who are you? She asked in a French accent. I'm Emily Hook. And before you say it, yes, I am the daughter of Captain Hook. No, I meant, why are you here? But still, thanks for the name. Oh, I work here. Have you seen Mr. Gold? I'm right here, dearie, Mr. Gold said, coming in from the back. Oh, okay. Who's this? Mrs. Bell. She worked for me back in the Enchanted Forest, he told me. Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to know her reason for being here. At first I thought she was a snooping customer, I replied. Well, I'm just glad you didn't try to kick me out. That would have been bad, Bell said. Yes, I agree. Well, do you still need me, Mr. Gold, or does Belle have this all under control? I said. Yes, you can never have too many assistants, especially at my age, Mr. Gold replied. I agree, but how old are you exactly? Belle asked. About over 100 years old, at an estimation. But Pan is even older. Wait, who's Pan? I've never heard of him before, Belle asked. He means Peter Pan, and he's my boyfriend, I replied. Okay, so the boy who lives on Neverland. I think I may have read about him in my book somewhere. Belle seemed to be filled to the brim with questions. Yep, that's him. Well, why don't we get to work? I can see we have some cleaning up to do, I said, my gaze sweeping the building. Yes, please get to work. I can handle any customers that come in while you two clean, Mr. Gold said. So we got to work. After about 2 hours of dusting, sweeping, and polishing, we were finally done. It took a lot less time with Belle helping me. It was amazing that we could make such a perfect team than just meeting each other. All done, I called to Mr. Gold. He came out and looked around. Now that did not take very long. Emily, you can help customers. Belle and I need to talk for a minute, Mr. Gold said, and he grabbed Belle's arm. They walked to the back, closing the curtain behind them. I waited for someone, anyone, to come through the door. I waited, and waited, and waited, until finally I couldn't stand it anymore. Just as my impatience came, Someone walked through the front door. "Hello, welcome to Mr. Gold's pawn shop. What can I do for you?" I said in an excited voice. "I'm here for Mr. Gold." "He seems to have my daughter working here," the man said. "Well, could you tell me what the girl's name is? Maybe I could tell you where she is." "Her name is Emily. Does that ring a bell?" the man said. I'm Emily. What can I do for you?" I glanced down at his hands and saw he had a hook on one of them. "Emily, it's me, your father, Captain Hook." "Papa?" I exclaimed. "Emily, oh, I missed you so much," my father said, and he gathered me into his arms. It was nice to be in the arms of my father, and it had been much too long. "Papa, how did you find me? I thought you were still in the enchanted forest." "I was brought here by the mother of the evil queen. She promised me safety with my daughter if I helped her get Regina onto her side. But I couldn't wait any longer. I had to come and find you." "I'm glad you did," Mr. Gold said, coming into the front. "Who are you supposed to be?" my father asked. I looked at Mr. Gold and told him with my eyes not to tell my father his real name. "I am Mr. Gold." "And who might you be?" he asked and said. Sorry, I'm texting someone. "I am Captain Hook. Thank you for keeping an eye on my daughter. I don't know what I could have done without you, mate." "You don't have to. Emily's happiness is all I need as payment," Mr. Gold said. He seemed to be sincere, but he was tricky at times. "Thank you so much. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have somewhere to be." "Goodbye, Mr. Gold. I'll see you later," I called over my shoulder, and my father and I left. Chapter 26. My father and I began to walk towards the clock tower, where I could see a woman at the top. She was dressed in a purple dress, her dark brown hair curled into a fancy bun. She stood proudly, her back straight and head held high. She seemed to have the air of a queen about her, but no crown. It was weird to see someone in such a fancy outfit on a normal day. When we reached the top, I could see the family assembly. "Hello there, Emily. Your father has told me much about you." "My name is Cora," the woman said. "A pleasure it is to meet you, Cora. I am Queen Emily of Neverland. Have you enjoyed Storybrooke so far?" I asked, again with the fake excitement. "Well, isn't she sweet? And my, such beautiful manners! Even my own daughter wasn't that decent," Cora said. She seemed to be thinking of something, but I couldn't tell what. "Well, now that the two of you are acquainted, we must get going. We have a job to do," my father said. And of course, as always, he was right. "Yes, that is correct. Well, let's get started," Cora said, and she descended the staircase to the library below. "Papa, how did you meet this woman? She doesn't really seem all that nice," I said. "Well, I met her in the enchanted forest. She wanted to get to her daughter, and I wanted to get to mine. So we teamed up and began to search. We decided to look for the two of you here, since we couldn't find you anywhere else." "Did you check Neverland?" "No, because there had been sightings of you in the enchanted forest before the curse. That was when we decided to come and look here." "And that leads up to now." "That cleared up so much," I replied. "Not at all. This clears up nothing at all," I thought. "Good. Now come on. She might get angry." We descended the staircase and met up with Cora at the bottom. "Emily, why don't you carry on as normal? Don't tell anyone that we are here," Cora said. I glanced at my father, and I could see the look of shock on his face. But still, he nodded, so I nodded as well. "Okay, I will go home and carry on as normal," I said, not taking my eyes off of my father. I gave him a hug and walked away. This is going to be fun. I jogged to room 3, making the door slam when I got in. "Emily, what are you running for?" Snow asked. "My father is here with Cora. They are planning to get Regina on their side so that they can do something. At my guess, it has something to do with Mr. Gold," I replied. "Okay, so what storybook character is Mr. Gold? Maybe we can figure out something if we knew who he was." "He is Rumpelstiltskin, and my father is going to kill him," I cried. The two men who I knew from Storybrooke were about to kill each other. Reminded me of my old life back in Neverland. Emily, don't worry. Mr. Gold, Emma, and Henry are all going to look for Mr. Gold's son. They think they know where he is, Charming said. Oh, thank goodness. My father would have stopped at nothing to kill him. He already did before, when he left me with Peter, I said. Don't worry. That won't happen again. We're here to help, Snow said. Henry, Emma, time to go, Mr. Gold said, coming in to the house. I looked at everyone, and they seemed to understand not to tell Mr. Gold what we had been talking of. All right, let's go find your son, Henry said, running down the stairs. Hey, I thought I told you I would pick you up later. You dirty little liar, I said jokingly. Hey, I wanted to go on an adventure, and now I am. Hey, Mr. Gold, can Emily come with us? Henry asked. Mr. Gold glanced at me and nodded his head. All right, kid. Come on, let's go, Emma said, and we went out and climbed into her car. Mr. Gold, won't you lose your memory if you cross the town line? I asked. No, I put a protection spell on this cloak, so I shouldn't forget anything, he replied. We slowly crept across the town line, wanting to make sure that he would be safe. As we got across, Mr. Gold answered a series of questions from Henry. Okay, Henry, he remembers who he is. Can you please just read your book? I asked. I grabbed my own and began to read. Chapter 27. About 4 hours later, we had gotten on a plane, headed to New York, and gotten to Balefire's house. I couldn't believe he was here, in the land without magic. When Peter had sent him away, I had thought he would be brought back to his father. But no, he was here, and I was going to see him again. All right, where is he? Emma asked as we entered the room. He was nowhere in sight. The window was open. He must have climbed out, I said. I remembered how I had taught him how to run away from people, especially their windows. Yeah, okay. Henry, you stay here with Mr. Gold. We'll be right back, Emma said. We climbed through the window, and I saw a man running. Emma and I ran as fast as we could, chasing after him, until we rounded a corner and Emma tackled him. Hey? I asked. Neil? Emma asked at the same time. We glanced at each other, wondering how we both knew who he was, except with different names. Oh, hey, Emily. Hey, Emma. He said, want to grab a drink? Oh, you want more than a drink. What is going on? Emma asked. Please, let's just grab a drink and I will explain everything, Bellfire said. He led us to a quiet corner in a bar and explained everything. When he was finished, we headed back to his house, where Mr. Gold and Henry were waiting. Bellfire? Mr. Gold exclaimed in a shaky voice. Papa? Bellfire asked. They embraced each other, and then came the tricky part. Where were you guys? And how do you all know each other? Mr. Gold asked. We all rested into our own versions of the story, until Henry interrupted. Mom, is everything okay? Henry asked, coming up from the fire escape. Wait, Mom? So is this my son? Billfire asked. Yes, it is, Henry. I am so sorry I didn't tell you. I just couldn't bring myself to tell you your father was alive after he had left me in jail, Emma said. Wait, this is all a little bit confusing, especially for me, because I am almost certain that I am not related to any of you. So, Henry, Mr. Gold would be your grandfather, since Bellfire is your father. Am I getting this right? I asked. Yes, Emily, that is correct. I guess I would be counted as Henry's grandfather, Mr. Gold responded. Okay, I agree. This is pretty confusing, Emma said. You know what? Let's just forget I even said that, I said. Sure, Henry said. So, back to what is actually important. Bellfire, you knew these two, and didn't know their background? I thought I taught you better, Mr. Gold said. Okay, how about some father-son time? They never had a chance to talk, and maybe they can find some things in common. I winked at Bellfire. He responded by gently grabbing Henry's shoulder and taking him out onto the fire escape. Mr. Gold stood by the window and watched. So, you knew him for a while, huh? Emma asked. Yeah, but you knew him longer. I only knew him when he was Henry's age. And that was so long ago, I replied. I agree, it has been a while since you've probably seen him. I saw him about 12 years ago, Emma asked. Emma said, Yep, we haven't seen him for a while. I feel sorry for Mr. Gold, though. He hasn't seen his son in almost 40 years. And that is a long time. I wonder how it must feel, not knowing where the one you love most is, I replied. But you haven't seen Pan in over 28 years, so you must know. But I don't know if I haven't seen him for 28 years. I saw him in my dreams, and that seemed to help me feel close to him. I don't know. I guess that preservation spell just made me feel better. Wait, preservation spell? Why would you need a preservation spell? I would have had a baby a few months within the curse, and Peter wanted to make sure he would be there. So he put a preservation spell on the baby, and I won't be able to have it until he takes off the spell. Wait, how do you get pregnant at the age of 17? I am not 17. Oh, well that would make a lot more sense. Wonder how those boys are doing out there. Just then, Henry and Balefire entered the room. Hey Mom, can we go and get some pizza? Neil says that there's a really good pizzeria down the street, Henry asked. Yeah, I guess I am kind of hungry. Let's go, and then we can head back to Storybrooke, Emma said. We headed out the door when my father appeared at the bottom of the staircase. Emily, nice to see you. Now, I have some old business to attend to, he said, and shoved his hook into Mr. Gold's chest. Mr. Gold! Everyone shouted. He sunk to the ground, knees buckling beneath him. He slumped against the wall, hand over his chest. I will see you later, Emily, my father said, and he ran away. Emily? Who was that? Emma asked. That, Emma, was my father. The end of chapter 27, right? Right. Yeah, chapter 27. I'll see you guys in the next video.